7091. Visit our website, 5starsoap.com, for buying our 1 to 2 month soap sampler. Thank you.
You may be arrested and/or subject to other police action.
Tyranny is here. The grim future foretold in 1984 has become reality.
It really says that the state is God.
The United States is now recognized globally as one of the most oppressive police states on Earth. This film conclusively proves the existence of a secret network of FEMA camps, now being expanded nationwide. This documentary exposes how the continuity of government program has established an all-powerful shadow state. Police State 4 chronicles the sickening depths to which our republic has fallen. Prepare to enter the secretive world of emergency dictatorship, body scanners, sound cannons, citizen spies, stage terror, and cameras on every street corner. It's only the beginning of the New World Order's hellish plan. The police state isn't coming. It's here. Secure your copy today at Infowars.com or see it online in the highest quality at PrisonPlanet.tv.
We now take you live to the Central Texas Command Center and the heart of the resistance, rallying patriots worldwide. You're listening to The Alex Jones Show.
We are back live, ladies and gentlemen. It is Tuesday, the 23rd day of November, 2010. Got about 27 minutes left in worldwide broadcast. Be back tomorrow, of course, live. And we'll be tracking the latest with National Opt-Out Day. I was reading out of the Chicago Tribune, but it's a report out of Boston Logan. And we've been predicting they'll have more fear-mongering and more fake packages. Now, remember what happened with the British. This is on record. Obama, on the Thursday night before the Friday scare a month ago, he's told there's a plan by Anwar al-Awlaki, and we'll put this on screen. Anwar al-Awlaki dined at the Pentagon after 9/11. We'll put that Fox News, AP, Reuters, whatever you want. It's all over the news, the Mail Online, BBC. He's on the news at the time as the #3 guy in al-Qaeda. Today they say he's the #1 under bin Laden. And he's hanging out with the Secretary of the Army and the top brass at the Pentagon. This is confirmed. So he's behind the Fort Hood shooter. He's behind the Christmas Day underwear bomber, who the government admits they were ordered to help get on the plane, Undersecretary of the State Department. Kennedy said that 2 months after we broke it with witnesses. And there's the headline. We'll put it back on screen. Al-Qaeda leader dined at the Pentagon just months after 9/11. And I believe that's the Fox News article about it. It is. Okay. So you've got that. Now, the British, a month ago, they say, yeah, we've tested these printer cartridge. It's not a bomb. And Obama goes out hours after, gives a press conference and says it was a bomb. And the British are told, check it again. And they go, okay, I guess it is not a bomb, but bomb material. And then you've got the head of British Airways having to eat crow, who wants the scanners out because it's killing business. You've got the Italian government throwing the scanners out under pressure. Now, I predicted in the last few weeks you'd see more of this, and then it would be drills, because it's always drills. It was a drill today, kicking off this new conflict with the North Koreans, going into their waters and simulating attacks and firing artillery, and so the North, paranoid state they are, attacks. Starting to figure this out. Here it is. Fake bomb aboard German passenger jet was made by U.S. firm to test airport security. For 2 days, somebody tried to blow up a German airline. Thank God they saved them. Then back of the paper, minor footnote days later, oh, it was some type of drill, but the U.S. won't say what firm they hired to do it. That's all here in the news. So they do the same thing over and over again. And here is another one out of the Boston Globe. Massport investigating low-level threat in Delta Cargo building at Logan. Authorities this afternoon are investigating a low-level threat at a Delta Cargo terminal at Boston's Logan Airport after a dog trained to sniff out explosives reacted to 2 duffel bags, a Massport spokesman said. And so there's all this hysteria and all this fear. Now, this just came out after the AP article that was suspicious package found at cargo building of Boston's Logan's Airport, forces evacuation. Just all part of this complete ninnying culture of fear. We pulled the numbers up. 90 to 100 people die a year from bee stings. That's not counting wasp stings. Now, do we have checkpoints in every field, at every school, to protect us from these Al-Qaeda insects that are just everywhere, killing hundreds of our citizens? No. Are they worried about a real threat? 28,000 dead in the last few years on the Mexican-U.S. border area. No, they're not worried about that. They have created this hysterical, psychological warfare fetish to just totally freak out and be scared of the turban men that are going to get us any minute. And then every time you turn around, they're being handled and protected by the government. And I've had the former CIA section chief on. We wrote the book Jawbreaker. One of the top CIA operatives in Afghanistan. He admitted the real Taliban and Al-Qaeda would sell 13, 14, 15-year-old teenagers. They had a poll out 2 days ago. 92% of Afghans don't even know about 9/11. These are literally cavemen. They can't find the U.S. on a map. They can't read, they can't write. In fact, pull that up. Folks won't believe it. 92% of Afghans don't even know about 9/11. Let's pull that up. And the elements of the Taliban will have a roast. This is in the news. And they will roast a cow, which is really a delicacy. And all these hill people who've never even hardly been in cities, who raise goats for a living, they come in to get the food, they tie them up, they sell them to contractors, they get about $20,000 or more apiece, they take the teenagers, they torture them at Camp X-Ray and other camps, and not just in Guantanamo Bay, but also inside Afghanistan, and then a lot of them become double agents and get released and then get sent out to go out and set up other people. There it is. That's out of what, Reuters? The Examiner also is reporting on it. Report, 92% of Afghans don't know about 911. 40% think U.S. out to destroy Islam. So this is the country we're in to fight the people that carried out 9/11. Most of them, and they're not bad people. They're not stupid people. They are middle age. I mean, this is like something from 800 years ago. I mean, they don't know stuff outside their town, folks. I mean, this is Dark Ages stuff here. That's how most historians and anthropologists describe it. This is the big enemy. This is why we've got to have all these wars. 92% don't know about 9/11. They don't know their head from a hole in the ground, geopolitically. And they're taken and sold and then taken and tortured. So that's how these people operate. Now, I want to get into the really key information right now for everybody on the economic front. And I know you know this, but your friends and family may not. And we have got to get this information out to them now. Not tomorrow, not next week. When people are talking about, you know, did they find Natalie Holloway's jaw? Or did they find the Easter Bunny's, you know, necklace? Or did they find Santa Claus's hat? This Thanksgiving, when they're talking about all these things that don't matter, you need to point out that private IMF, World Bank, Federal Reserve, International Bank of Settlements, holding companies, admittedly are imploding the world economy by design. They create the tens of trillions in fiat currency out of nothing. They go in and lobby governments and even put their Goldman Sachs people in as presidents and finance ministers in all the countries they bring down. Latin America, the Mediterranean, Western Europe, Eastern Europe, Asia, the United States. I mean, it's the same players, the economic high-level hitmen. They go in and they get the governments to invest in derivatives, and then those go under. They get them to invest the pension funds in derivatives. They get them to balloon the nanny welfare state to get a group of dependent people in the population addicted to government to be a political weapon against the middle class or any nouveau riche that understand the true paradigm of the ultra-rich using big government to vertically integrate economies. Now, you'll notice in Greece, you'll notice in Portugal, you'll notice in Spain, you'll notice in Ireland, in all these countries, you'll notice in Nigeria, in Argentina, in the United States. The bigger the banking bailout is, the more debt you've got to pay in taxes, the more the services get cut, and then they come back always a year later or less and say it didn't work, now you owe even more. Because the central banks created out of nothing. And the Federal Reserve chairman, the current one and the last one, openly tell the news they're above the law and no one can investigate them and no one can look at what they're doing. It's gotten so bad that even China now says we want to audit the Fed. We want to know what you're doing. You're devaluing the dollar worldwide. It's the world reserve currency. And the Federal Reserve says you can't see it. I mean, who are these people? Well, they're the private banking cartels. They're the robber barons. They're the Ponzi men that created Ponzi schemes so big, they got all the pension funds worldwide invested in this stuff to one degree or another, and they say, we're too big to fail, give us the world or it's over. We want an open world bank that you pay private VAT and carbon taxes to. This is public now. And we'll have a global digital currency that all other currencies are based on. I mean, we've got a bunch of Ken Lay, Bernie Madoff types literally setting up world government over us all through completely transparent, brazen, total fraud. Are we going to put up with it? Let's look at one country in this constellation. Here's Reuters today. This is by Steve Slater. Ireland hoists the for sale sign over stricken banks. What's happening to our ports, our businesses, our infrastructure, our factories? Same thing. This is economic warfare, economic corporate conquest. Ireland's banks are up for sale. Remember how great they were a year? They were the EU success story. Ooh, they were going to join the EU. Once they had to get them in the EU before they imploded their economy. They had to get them under that charter, under that treaty, to then have EU taxpayers bail out Ireland, which just means trillions more to the banks. And then you watch in a year, it'll be even more until half the public's homeless. 11 years ago, Argentina was the wealthiest country in Central and South America. It dwarfed any wealth in Central and South America down there in South America. 100 years ago, they had the term as rich as an Argentine. Per capita, they were the richest people in the hemisphere. They were richer than Americans. Not anymore. Remember that Washington Post article in 2001 about the tractor trailer overturning 1 week into the implosion and cows falling out and yuppies running up starving with knives, slicing off raw flesh, gobbling it like something out of a zombie movie? Huh? Because they dollarized, because they took the loans, because they bought the derivatives. They did what the bankers told them. It was all set up. Okay? That's Argentine, the Argentinian system. Argentina a few years into the implosion. We're not there yet. It's coming here. And I want you to know who to blame. Ireland's banks are up for sale. The country's central bank chief said as the government seeks to cut them down in size. Oh, see, that's their fault, the local banks that were run by the big globalist. Cut them down to size. Oh, we'll teach those local banks by giving them to the mega banks. Listen to this. Ireland's banks are up for sale. See, they're not just taking over third world countries now, see. Ireland's banks are up for sale, the country's central bank chief said, as the government seeks to cut them down to size after their reckless lending forced the country to seek an international bailout. To the very same banks that run them domestically. It's this international template of these mega banks raping everyone. And you run out of one of their arms into their other arm. And then back and forth forever.